Hope everyone is having a great day. We are going to have a good crowd today on this webinar. I think everyone is excited for what we're about to present. All right, I'll go ahead and start with the intro, and then as people continue to log on, they can just join in as they see fit. So welcome everybody. Thank you all for taking a little bit of time out of your day today. This is our webinar on our new iOS app release that will be released in the next couple weeks. We want to give you all a preview of what is to come. So this app version is not released to the public yet, but we're just trying to get drivers and admins comfortable with what they're about to see. So we're really excited about it. We're excited to give you a full tour of the app today of the newest version of the My20 Assistant app. That's what we're calling it, the My20 Assistant app. I'm your host today. My name is Kristen Riccozzi. I'm the VP of Marketing for Konexial. I am based out of our Knoxville, Tennessee office. Our presenter today is Tom Clark. He's our VP of Product Support. So he does a lot of our development, testing, taking customer feedback and ideas back to our development team. He's that intermediary between our support team and our development team. So we really appreciate Tom's time today. He's worked very hard on this app release and testing, and I know he's going to be excited to show you guys what is coming. Just a little bit of background. As you all are aware, you're Konexial customers, but we want to just reiterate some of our core values here. And we hope to convey these core values through our partnerships with you all. We hope to bring you a strong business partner that has a high response time with hands-on support. We also want to always bring you integrated technology so that your compliance, your visibility, your operations are all integrated together. That's one of our top priorities, is to make sure that you are efficiently operating your fleets in an integrated way. And then the last thing I wanted to mention here is the voice of the customer. So a huge part of this app release is based upon customer feedback. So we're always striving for continuous improvement and always striving to be better, to add more features, to add more benefits for our drivers and our carriers. So our team has listened to a lot of your driver and admin feedback, and we've worked hard to bring you an even more powerful and user-friendly experience to the app. So in this webinar, we're going to explore a new layout of the driver app, as well as the workflow features that will hopefully make your drivers' days a little bit easier and more efficient. The newest version of the app, the one that we're about to preview, is still in beta testing. We have a pretty good group of drivers that are on the beta test, and we will be releasing this newest version within the next couple of weeks. Once we have that official launch date, we will communicate that to all of the drivers and the admins. We'll give you all another heads up that it's coming. We'll also reshare all of our resources. We'll have this webinar recording to share with you. And then we have another shorter, condensed version of a preview of the app that we can also share with you so that you all can watch and share that with your drivers. We'd love for this to be an informal session. So as we go throughout the webinar, as we go throughout the demo, if you have questions or thoughts or anything you want to share, you can feel free to type that into the Q&A box that is located at the bottom of your Zoom window. All right, let's see if I missed anything here. We will record this webinar and be emailing it out to all of you probably tomorrow. And then if you have additional questions or you want to do a more personalized training session with your drivers or your fleet, we'd be happy to set something like that up. You can just reach out to our support team and we will get that sort of training set up. All righty. Oh, Tom, I will let you get connected here. I'm going to stop sharing so that you can connect and we will go right into the demo.
All right, and Kristen, if you would be so kind as to hit the record button.
Yes, we are recording.
Okay, cool. All right. All right, can everybody see my screen?
We can, yes.
Awesome. Okay, so welcome. I'm very excited to show you the My20 Assistant app. It's the same app with a new set of clothes, new skin, and then also some additional functionality. When the driver logs in, this is the home screen that they will see. The home screen is divided into 3 different sections. The top section is called the shortcut section. And there's a variety of icons that are available that will allow the driver to take a shortcut, a quick trip to whatever functionality they want. I'm going to go ahead and hit the plus sign to the right, which the shortcuts, you can have as many as you want that are actually active. When I hit the plus sign, it shows me the active options and up at the top, and then the hidden options down below. Active options from top to bottom appear on the app screen from left to right. All right. And so whatever is at the top will be on the far left. And you can, the driver can determine what shortcuts they want to see and have access to immediately. And they can also order arrange the order of the shortcuts however they want to see them. All right. So for example, I'm going to go down and I'm going to select unsigned logs, and that's going to move from the hidden options to the active options. And then I'm going to go ahead and just touch it and then scroll and move it to the top of the list. All right. So that when I select the X, it's going to take me back out to the home screen. And now my unsigned logs are to the left, top left, or left of the screen, and I'll have easy access to them. But each of these icons will take you to whatever it is. One thing, slight change in the new version of the app, instead of ELD status, I'm going to go ahead and select the debug button, and that's going to take you to the ELD status, but it's got vehicle information, hardware information, location, and mobile device information. All right. So any of the information that you would have seen in the ELD status, which you would have had to go to the home, main menu, settings, and then ELD status, now you can just select that shortcut and go directly there. Same thing with logs. I can select that. I can see my rods for today. Transactions. So far, I've been in off duty. I can either select the calendar and it'll take me to a specific day, or I can move it one day at a time, and then it will show me the information that we've got for that day. One change, and again, this is feedback from drivers, and we've had calls from drivers that they've made a mistake on certifying their logs too soon. I'm going to actually go to today, and I'm going to certify my logs. And then I said, I made a mistake. Normally the driver would have to call support. Hey, can you fix my logs? I certified them by mistake. Now the driver can select record certified, and it'll confirm you want to unsign them. Yes. And then it becomes uncertified or unsigned. So the driver has that ability. On the recap, it'll show each of the different days. You can select the day and go into it just like you could before on the log screen. In addition to that, you can select multiple days and they'll be certified automatically. You can select it. So that process has not changed. Similarly, daily log, you can go and look at a day. It'll bring it up. You can select the individual days. You can upload that, print it, whatever you want to do with it. All right. I'm going to X out of that. So those are all the different shortcuts. Each of those, I won't go into each one, but they have a purpose. You can kind of experiment with those as you see them. Again, plus sign determines what's active and what's hidden. If I select something, let's say that I want to put driver safety, I want to make that hidden. If I select that in the active options, it would go down to the hidden options. and then I could select it again in hidden and move it back up to active. But this gives the driver the ability to arrange the shortcuts in whatever status they want or whatever order that they want. Next section is what we call the assistant. The goal of this is to present a workflow to the driver, and this is carrier configurable on certain different tasks, but it basically presents the driver their day in sequence based on the workflow that the carrier wants, and it gives them step by step and presents them with options to select from instead of kind of a blank canvas that they have to figure out what they want to do and where that is on the screen. All right, and we'll return back to that in just a second. The last section is what we call the widget. The widget provides important information for the day. Currently, my duty status is off duty, today's date, local time, and then what my 70-hour cycle hours remaining are. If I select it, it will expand into the time clock. Time clock is slightly reorganized. Again, you've got the distance driven today, local, current time and date, and then down below are your 3 clocks: the 11-hour driving, the 14-hour duty, and then the 70-hour cycle. And then similar to current app, in the center is the multi-purpose clock. It shows not only current duty status, but also will show time remaining for break or whatever you've been in that specific status. If you're driving, which it'll automatically go into in at 5 miles per hour, it'll show that 8-hour countdown for your break. Similar to the existing app, current app, I'm going to select the center clock, and then it's going to give me the duty status change screen. I can either select the status, and in this case, I'm in off duty. I'm going to go ahead and select off duty again. And then instead of it giving you a scroll where you can go through the different choices, it actually presents them as panels or buttons that the driver can select. You have the option of either adding an annotation, which you can do by selecting it, or you can select dismiss, and then it'll change your status. All right. In addition to that, similar exception, got the exact same process. The one thing that is different is now the list is configurable to the carrier. So that means instead of seeing the 12 different exceptions, you are, as a carrier, you can determine which exceptions you want your drivers to see. If you don't haul ag, you can hide ag. If you don't, if you're not in short haul concrete, you can hide that. Whatever you want the driver to see, you can limit what they see. Where before it was a toggle switch, now it is an activate word. If I select that, it's going to show me when I activated it, and then it's going to show deactivate to turn it off, right? Same as before. Once it's active, it's going to stay active until it's been deactivated. When I select the X, it'll take me back to time clock screen. It'll show personal conveyance has been activated. All right, similar process that we have before. Again, you can either select the status by selecting the center circle, or I can select the status shortcut, and it takes me to the exact same screen. All right, so that's the widget. It will expand as when you're driving. Yeah, I'm going to select it. I'm going to compress it. Now it takes me back to the assistant, and I'm going to start the process. All right, right now I'm signed in as Brian, which is a demo driver for us. And it's going to ask, and it's going to know whether it's afternoon or morning. It's going to say, good afternoon, what would you like to do? And the two options at this stage of the workflow are start my HOS day or view rods. If you're in a, you don't want to start your HOS day, but you want to do some rods maintenance, again, I can select view rods, and it takes me to the rod screen, go through that. Or like I said before, I can select the shortcut, and it'll take me to that screen as well. In this case, I want to go ahead and start my HOS day. So I select that. It's going to ask me, and I just downloaded this app new. So it's asking me about access to the camera. At this point in time, this is a new feature of the app. We have the ability to create a QR code for the truck. And so this works great if you're in an area where you've got multiple trucks and on occasion a driver will connect to the wrong truck. They can either scan the QR code or do a manual selection. In this case, I'm going to scan my QR code, which I've got right here. And the QR code has my, that's interesting. It has my, my truck number and my VIN number. All right. In that case, it gave me a truck that well, I'm going to go ahead. This is 1981. I'm going to select that. And then the next thing is it's going to ask me if I have any trailers that I want to connect to. If I say yes, then it's going to give me a list of trailers. If I would have had a trailer that I had connected to recently, it would present that to me. I'm going to go ahead and enter in a trailer number. And it gives me the option of more than one trailer. In this case, I only want one, so I'm going to say no more trailers. And then it's going to ask me if I have any load information that I want to add to my trip. In this case, I'm going to say yes. And then it presents me with the trip loads. Right now, there isn't any load, so I'm going to go ahead and add a load. And I have an option of either creating a new load or adding from dispatched loads. Adding from dispatched loads is going to be a new feature that we're going to be rolling out called load execution, which will allow the carrier to enter in loads into the tower and track those through the tower and actually send those to the driver. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and select create new load. And then it's going to give me the option of either entering in a load identifier, bill of lading number. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and do both. So this is going to be an international paper load. And the bill of lading number is, got that memorized. And then it gives me the option of adding a shipping document image. In this case, I can either add it from the camera or from the photo library. I'm going to just select photo library, and I'm going to select a picture just to add attached to the shipment. All right, I select save, and now that bill of lading number and that information is on assigned to this trip. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and show you I can add notes if I need to. And then also in the trip details, as a part of this load execution process, if I select status, it actually gives you a workflow that the driver would do as they are going through the load. In this case, first option is inbound, which means I'm headed toward the point of origin to pick up. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. And the next one is I'm arriving at the point of origin. I'm not going to select that at this point. I'm going to go ahead and exit out of that. And so now the next question in the workflow is, do you want to perform a pre-DVIR? This is part of that configuration for the carrier. It is not required by the FMCSA, but if you require it as a carrier, then we can make this a required part of the workflow for that driver. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and select yes. I want to complete the DVIR. This is a change of the system in the app where any determined defects associated with the asset, whether it be truck or trailer, will stay with that asset until it is resolved. All right. So in this case, someone else, and this for this first one on the frame, this was created 5 days ago by Thor Odinson on this one. And then tires, again, a week ago by Thor. And then there's an issue with that trailer. Loki Odinson did that 5 days ago. But each of these are already pre-existing defects for the truck. If I do my pre-trip DVIR and I look and I see the tires have been replaced, then I would select marked as resolved. My pre-trip DVIRs have gone from 3 to 2. And then if I find another one, then I would go through the same process. You can either add them by the system or you can add them from a checklist. Once I've completed my inspection, I'm going to say inspection complete. Then it's going to provide me with information on my trip. It's going to say truck, trailers, starting odometer, start time, pre-DVIR, 2 defects found, and then it's going to show my loads. All right, it's asking me, is this information is correct? If I say no, there's something wrong, I can select that, and then it gives me the ability to make changes. One thing that is a new change and that we have a lot of calls about is incorrect odometer. So the difference between the ELD system odometer and the dash odometer is different. You can select incorrect odometer and actually go in and update that so that the system ELD system odometer and the dash odometer are the same. Once it's been edited, and I'm not going to change that, I'm going to say yes, that's correct. And then at this point, I'm connected to my truck. I'm ready to start driving. Once I start driving, it will automatically go into driving mode. The widget will expand, and then you'll see all those clocks, and then you're ready for your next stop. All right, it can either be an on-duty stop, it can be if it's a traffic, roadside inspection, then the driver would select I've been stopped. Then it would give that an option. And one thing I forgot to tell you, the status changes automatically on different selections. So when you go from, when you start your day, it'll automatically go into on duty and show an inspection. In this case, this is a roadside inspection. These are your options. I'm going to select FMCSA upload. It's going to ask for that case ID. I've been stopped by the friendly folks in Tennessee. I'm going to go ahead and put a badge number in, upload, and then it's going to upload the records to the system. And in this case, I got an error. Normally it would say submission successful. At that point, I've got an error. This is a change in the app. If I need to contact support, I just say call now. And I can call from my phone directly to support. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hang up because I don't want to talk to anybody in support, but that's another change where it will allow you to call directly to the support line. You don't have to go in, go out of the app, go to your phone, call them. This calls directly from the app. All right, once I'm done with the roadside inspection, I would go back. I'd select go back. And then I'm ready to resume my my trip. And so as I'm driving, it's going to automatically change from on duty to driving. And then if I stop, it would change, from driving status to off duty or whatever I need to do. Take a break. Again, at the end of the day, well, let's go. If I have so let's say I have a load and it's a hook and drop, and I deliver that load and I'm picking up another one. Then I would end my trip. So I would select end current trip, and then it would go through the post-trip DVIR. Now, in this case, this is required. So if I select no, it's gonna take me back there, but it's not going to allow me to, end my trip. So I would have to go ahead and complete the DVIR. At the end of your HOS day, you have an option select end of HOS day. And if you watch, the duty status is going to change. Post-trip DVIR, I'm going to go ahead and say yes. There's my 2 defects from my pre-trip DVIR. I'm going to go ahead and walk through my inspection, and no new defects. Those are still issues. So I'm going to say inspection complete. One thing that's new with this new app is we are recording the start time of the DVIR and the end time of the DVIR. So if the driver is pencil whipping the DVIR and just says it's complete, 30 seconds after they start or less, you'll be able to see that in the tower. All right. It's going to ask me my end of trip information. Yep, that is correct. And so I'm going to say yes is correct. Do I want to review my rods for the day? I say yes. It shows me my status. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to certify my rods. I'm going to go here and in my HOS day. And that's going to be it for the day. My duty status should be changing to off duty. I'm going to need to check that. All right. That is about it on the new Assistant app. Again, shortcut section, completely configurable by the driver in what shortcuts they want to see in the order that they're in. The workflow or assistant section, which allows the driver to go section by section or workflow step by step in the workflow. And then the last is the widget, which kind of shows current information as well as the time screen. Any questions about what I've shown so far today?
All right. Thank you, Tom. We do have a question that came in. Let's see. It says, do drivers need to log off and log on again when switching units like before? Switching units, I'm assuming switching trucks.
So what they would do is they would start a new trip. And I believe, let me see. I believe they would start, and it would present them with the vehicle that so that if they switch from one truck to the other, so basically it's a new trip and they're going to confirm that they're in what truck that they're in. So they would scan their QR code or make their manual selection based on that new truck or new trailer that they're going to be going in. So if there's a change, they would start a new trip and then go through that process.
Okay. If you all have any other questions, you can type those in. There were a few that came in during the session. Does anything change from an admin perspective? Or is this specifically driver facing?
So there are in the carrier configuration, there is a the selection of the exceptions and what you want the driver to see. There's also a selection or would be a selection on whether you want to make the pre-trip DVIR mandatory or not. And other than that, I think those are the two major changes for the admin that I can think of.
Okay, perfect. Let's see. Do drivers enter the mileage when fueling?
So right now, and that's something that we're working on, and I'm going to go to the receipts shortcut. There is not an odometer field on the worksheet that we are adding that. So right now it's not in there. They can add it as a note, the last section, but ultimately there will be, and this will probably be before we release, there will be an odometer field in the form where they'll be able to do that.
Okay, we have another question coming in. This is specifically for iOS. When do we think that the Android version of this app will come out?
We're working on it right now. It's probably going to be fourth quarter of this year. It's going to take, we're going to go through the exact same process. Once it's developed, we're going to go through our testing. Then we'll have a beta group that makes sure all the, everything that is connected properly, and then it will be sent out.
Okay. Yes. All righty. We've got another question that came in. How do they annotate daily activities that may not be available within the options, like check in to or unload, load? Can they still type in an annotation?
Yes, they can. As a matter of fact, you reminded me of something I didn't show you. On the daily report, there are some, I'm going to just scroll down. There are now going to be notes. And in this case, it showed my post-trip. It's not showing my pre-trip for some reason, but there will be automatic notes that will be added as a part of their daily process. But in answer to your question, as we have currently, if you select it, there's always the other option that when you select that, then it allows you to either use the keyboard or the microphone. And I love the microphone because you just hit it, you say it, you got to hit it again to stop it, which that's a challenge I've had. But that allows you to put whatever annotation that you want on any of the status changes.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, we have a question here. As an employer, I want to know where my trucks are at all times. Can I track a truck without a driver logged in?
So
Tom?
that's a great question. We've recently made a change. There's a couple of different ways in our system that you can determine the location of your asset or assets. Right now, there's 3 different ways. There's the ELD, which is through the driver using the app properly. And that works for both our V2 and V5 ELD products. There's also on the V5, which has its own cellular chip and GPS reporting. There's a minute by minute GPS location on those. And then on the camera, it also has a separate cellular GPS functionality that will allow you to track the location of that asset. So you would have to determine, and that is a carrier configurable feature, you would have to determine which location source you want to use. If you have V2 devices, those are our first generation devices. Those do not have, and those are the round, kind of soda or Coke lens or Coke bottle top device. Those do not have cellular. It does have a GPS chip in there, but it does not have cellular capability. So if you have a camera and you're having issues with the dependability of the driver using the app, then you can select camera as your location source. And when you go to the truck screen, it'll show your trucks based on the camera's GPS reporting. That is once a minute. It is uploaded, I believe, every 15 minutes. I think that there is a gap, or there is a pooling. It may be 5 minutes. I can't remember. Where the data is pooled and then sent. It's not sent once a minute. On the V5, it's sent once a minute. And on the app, it's sent once a minute.
Perfect. All righty. Let's see if I have any other questions. When will this app be released? We are still finalizing our solid launch date. Like I said at the beginning of the webinar, we are currently in beta testing. So we have a large group of drivers that are already using the app right now, testing it in real time. So we're continuing to gather feedback from those drivers. We'll probably have, Tom, what do you say, like 2 or 3 more weeks of beta testing?
I think so, yeah.
So it will be within the next month or so. Once that official launch date is confirmed, we will communicate that with all of the drivers and the admins. And we will share this webinar as well as our other training resources so that you all can train your drivers and your fleet. And then, after the launch, if we need if we feel like we need to do another webinar or another training session, we'd be happy to set that up as well. All righty.
Looks like we've got one other question. Will there be a training login available for admin with the update like before? Yes, we do have those. We'll have training accounts that will be available. Those will allow you to one, it'll be similar to like with this is a demo driver. But similar to that, you're going to have, in this case, this guy took a long week over a 4th of July, looks like. You'll have, days where you'll see transactions and things like that, and it'll be in the new version of the app.
Perfect. Thanks, Tom. I missed that one, but
yep. And you would just need to reach out to support, and we can send you the credentials for that, and you'll be able to have access to that to be able to show your drivers. It will be assigned to a different carrier, so you won't be able to connect to your trucks, and you won't be able to drive with them, which we have had some issues with that in the past, and created some issues. But this will be on a separate carrier account, purely for training purposes.
perfect. All right, everyone. Thank you all so much for your time today. We really appreciate it. Tom, thank you so much for your demonstration and the testing that you're doing behind the scenes to get this ready for our drivers and our admins. If anyone has any other questions, or you are, processing everything we just threw at you, and you come across a question later today, please reach out to us. You can, let me share my screen, give you our contact information here. Maybe, there we go. And you can always reach out to us at support@konexial.com, or contact us by phone at 865-888-6920. Oh, let's see. Do we have one more question? Or just someone giving us a high five? I'm not sure. I'll leave it open just in case another question or two flows in here, but we will let you all get back to your day. We really appreciate your business and your partnership, and we hope that this app will help you and your drivers. And we will talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much. Thanks, Tom.
You bet. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.